Hi, I'm Johan, co-founder of Nhost. Yesterday I saw Ben's Fullstack React GraphQL TypeScript tutorial where he builds a Reddit clone in 14 hours. In this video he does everything from scratch, the backend, the frontend, the deployment, so that we can see all the steps involved when building a full stack application. The video is great, I really enjoyed it. Videos like this creates a lot of value for developers like you and me. Ben's video actually inspired me to do this video as a comparison video to show you an alternative way how to build the same Reddit clone. So I'll show you an alternative way how you can build a Reddit clone. As the saying goes, there's many ways to skin a cat. That is to say, there's many ways to achieve the same goal. Ben showed you one way that worked. I will show you another way that also works. Now you will see the uncut version of me building this Reddit clone. That means that you get to see all my mistakes and how I fix them in real time. I will be using Nhost together with Hasura, React, Apollo and Tailwind. I will start by creating an Nhost project, set up the NextJS and make sure registration and login works. After that I'll add TailwindCSS to make things as pretty as I can. After that we'll be adding Apollo to be able to create, list, update and delete posts. And at last we'll do some clever stuff around up and down voting that uses some of the amazing aggregation capabilities together with Hasura. I think you will enjoy this video. Let's go. So the first thing I was thinking of doing is create a Trello board so we can keep track of what we're doing and what we're gonna do and what we have done. So let's just start by filling up the backlog here. So we want to do authentication, right? Or maybe start with create Nhost project. After that, we want to set up NextJS. We want to be able to register a user, login a user. After that, we need to create a post. Yeah, we're mixing the backlog stories here a little bit between user stories and what we want to do. But create post, edit post, upvote, down vote. All right, so that's a summary of what we're gonna do here. So let's start by creating an Nhost project. So at nhost.io, you can sign up. I've already signed up with my GitHub account. So I'm just gonna create a new project called Reddit clone. And yeah, quick story about Nhost. Nhost is a backend as a service. So what's happening here, we're creating the project, setting up the database, fixing configuration, setting up Hasura, authentication and storage. So you can see here, let's reload this one. Postgres, Hasura, GraphQL, authentication, storage, up and running. So we have like our own database, our own instance of Hasura, authentication, so we can add users, register users, all that. I'm going to delete this one because we're going to do this in the Reddit clone. So that's nice, and what we're going to use mainly here is these two URLs. So we're going to get back to those. All right, that's done. So next, let's set up Next.js for our project here. So I think what I'm gonna start by doing is creating a new repository on GitHub. So Reddit clone, we can have it public, add a readme file, yeah, create repository. Let's clone this one, git clone. And now do npx next create next app. Yep. Okay, let's remove this one then. Okay, the NextJS app is installed here. And let's just make sure it works. So let's do yarn dev. I'm gonna split my screen here and increase this a little bit and do code. Let's make this big and increase the size here a little bit so we can see what's going on. And let's see now. Localhost 3000. Pum, pum, pum. Yep. NextJS is up and running. Perfect. And okay, so the setup is done actually. Now we want to register a user. And that's going to require a little bit more work. So far we've been pretty quick, but now we're going to register the user here. So I'm going to go over to github.com nhost JS SDK that we're going to use. Actually, we're going to use, let's see, React Nhost. So React Nhost helps us with two things. One is authentication and one is Apollo. So we will just wrap our whole app around these two providers, authentication provider, Apollo provider, so that we can easily log in users and request data back and forth. So let's do that. Need this one here. I'm just going to install a bunch of things now. So React and how to do. Well, yarn add. Let's install this. And let's see now. Pages, app. All right. I'm actually going to rename. No, I'm not going to rename this one. Actually. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean up this a little bit. We don't need the Versa logo. We don't need a favicon. We will not use these CSS styles. We're going to install Tailwind in a second here. So I'm going to remove that one. We have nothing in the public directory now. We have nothing in styles. We have an index. This is the default one. Yep. Gonna remove the CSS. And for now, just return. Let's just return home. And we're not gonna use this one either. Very clean setup here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so just home. Just home. That's good. Let's see now. So we've installed React Nhost and all this, and I think also we need to install Nhost JS SDK. We do. So let's do that. Yarn add Nhost JS SDK. And also what I like to do on new NextJS projects is to configure JS config, I think it's called, to make imports a little bit easier. So jsconfig.json, yeah. So new file, jsconfig.json. And let's just do it like that. And a last thing that I also like to do is to have everything in a SRC folder. So we're going to move pages to SRC here. Oops, was that maybe that was a file. New folder, SRC, bam. Move pages to SRC, cool. And actually create a utils. And in utils, we're going to create a new file called nhost.js. And this is where we're going to initiate Nhost. So it's very simple. Import Nhost.js SDK and provide the backend URL for our project. That is this one here. And then we initialize the application and initialize authentication and storage and export authentication and storage so that we can use them across our app. I'm going to save that one. Next thing I want to do is continue to add the two providers. So you can see here we're gonna actually this is create React app. Let's see if it's different on NextJS. Should be the same, so we can still use this one. I think, let's see. So in underscore app.js, let's import everything we need here and return. Actually, we can copy this and we're gonna need, this is gonna be instead of our app. And what do we have here? We need to have a return, right? Okay. So now we're using the auth provider, the Apollo provider. We are passing in the authentication object to both of these two providers, and we're passing a GraphQL endpoint as well. And this one is not; it's just a placeholder. So, so let's copy in the right one here. It would be nice to just click and copy automatically here, but okay. All right. So we have our two URLs. We have the backend URL for the Nhost.js SDK. We have the GraphQL URL for the Nhost Apollo provider. Now let's see. We have JSS config. Yeah, this one should be actually is like so. So .src so that we can. Why do we do that? Yeah, that's because now we can import easily from src, so we don't need to specify an exact path. We can just do utils. Utils is a child on src on the src folder. So this should work. Let's see what's happening. 404. We probably need to restart everything here since we moved the pages folder to the src folder. Ooh, improvements. Ooh, yeah. I know what this is. We actually need to do another thing here. We need to do src ssr. Maybe let's put it at false. See what happens. Let's see. I think we have an issue about this. Set SSR. Yeah, exactly. Set SSR. We should set this automatically instead of doing this. Let's see if NextJS is happy now. It is. Home. Perfect. All right. All right, so we have done a lot of setup here. We have set up the Nhost auth provider, the Apollo provider. We have configured the backend here with Nhost.js SDK. But we still haven't registered a user, right? So let's try to focus on that. So for that, I'm going to create a new file here called register. Or maybe before, let's do this, register.csx. I'm going to use JSX here for the file names. So React comp register and export default. That's nice. Oh, register. So let's just go to register now and see what happens. Yep. And okay, so let's actually try to register a user here. So we have, let's do it super simple now in the beginning. Input, type text, value. Okay, we need some values. Email. We need a password. And we need to set these. We need email. On change. Let's see. Set email target value. And we want to do a password. Password. And let's do a button. Register. How does that look? Use state is not defined. Use state. All right. Let's just do two placeholders here as well. Placeholder. Email. Password. Okay. And last thing here, autofocus. Let's put it here. So when we reload the page, I thought it was with autofocus. Autofocus. Alright, I don't know why that is not working. Anyway, so when we on submit, handle submit, async, handle submit, target, prevent, default, console log function, form submitted. Let's just see if that works for now. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger here for you. No, we don't want the responsive stuff. All right, one at nhost.io. Hey, son. Form submitted. Perfect. So what we want to do here is actually a try catch, and we want to do a wait. And I want to import auth from utils Nhost. And on this auth, we can do register. Email, password. Perfect. Yeah, and if it doesn't work, register failed. And if it did work, let's and return here so we don't continue. And if it did work, registration successful. I can remove this one. Okay, register. Registration successful. Okay, let's see if that user is now, yeah, it's right here. Less than a minute ago. Perfect. So we actually managed to register our user. And we want to, of course, log in the user as well. So let's just see. Let's actually register the user is completed, log in the user. So there's two ways here. One is to log in the user right after it's been registered. Another one is, of course, we need to create a new login form so that users can log in through the form. But before we do that, actually, let's wait with this a little bit and install TailwindCSS. So we need to make this a little bit prettier, let's say. So let's install TailwindCSS. TailwindCSS. Next for NextJS, right? And I think I read a pretty good article here. Pick a template. Yep. So let's follow this one. So let's install Tailwind as a dev dependency. Next we initiate Tailwind. So it just creates a Tailwind config.js. Let's see how that one looks like. Tailwind. It's just plain Tailwind config, and I'm gonna activate these two as well. So we are set for future features. And we need to add post CSS. Okay, new file, and in that file we want to have this content, and I'm just going to copy and paste here. So we need to update this again. Okay. Right, and now we need Tailwind CSS. So let's add this one here, new file, Tailwind CSS. And we need these 3 directives. Perfect. And we want to import. Where do we want to import? I think styles should be inside the src folder, right? So we want to import. How do I import? All right, we do something like this. But we don't need to do this. Okay, perfect. Let's see if that works by changing the background color here. Maybe reload everything. Load this window as well. Okay. So we have a red background, meaning Tailwind is activated. Perfect. That's good. So let's style these a little bit at least. Let's see. We don't need the red background. We can do something like div register. What do I want to do? And let's place everything here in a div. Class name flex call. Okay. Can do the same inside here. And go to container mx auto, and we don't need so which one is this one? Red big 200. I think it's because I have everything very large here. So if I okay. Yeah. Everything is centered and nice. Now let's style the input fields. So we're just going to do a simple style here. Border rounded. Let's see what happens. Okay, and maybe a little bit of padding. So padding x in the x-axis for py 2 maybe. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's too much. I mean, this is better. Yeah, this is better. And also do margin in the y-axis of 2. And let's copy and paste this one. And let's get rid of the red. Actually, let's do something here as well. Maybe shadow. Yeah. So and then we need some padding here as well. So px4 looks good. P margin y12. Okay, that's better. And padding everywhere with 4. Yeah, that's good. Register. Let's do some fancy stuff on this. Class name. Text center. Uppercase. Text gray. Let's do it a little bit gray, and text SM. I think that looks. I mean, I'm not a designer. If I say something looks good, it doesn't mean much. But at least it's not terrible. And let's style the registration button as well. And let's see here. So px, let's do a background color first. Let's do something nice. Text white, uppercase. Px for py2. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? Why is it so big? Why is it so big? Okay, that's better. And name flex. Justify center. Still too big. Text SM. Maybe it looks good. It's just that, yeah, I mean, I'm getting tricked a little bit by having everything so big. But so if I reset everything looks so small. So okay, so I should expect everything to look big. So let's remove the small text and yep, let's enhance, make everything bigger here again, and let's actually do what I did before. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit big. That's fine. At least the registration form looks a little bit nicer now. So that's good. And yeah, it works. So let's duplicate this file actually and create a new file called login. That's going to be pretty much the same. Instead of all register, we're going to do login. And yeah, maybe change this. Login failed, login successful. We want to redirect the user here. Actually, we want to redirect. So NextJS redirect. Nope. We want to do something with a router, I think. Yeah. Use router push. We want to do this. Const router equals use router. Now we can do router history push, and let's just push to the index page. Cool. So So this is gonna end up here. That's good. Let's see if that works. And let's change login here. Go back, register. It would be nice with a link here. So if you are already registered, you can click the link. So let's do that. Let's see, probably here, right? Div already have an account. Link, login. Link is not defined. Link. And I think, yeah, I need to wrap it in an A. So let's see, ref login. And let's do the same here. Don't have an account. Register. Login. Well, that's nice. At least it works, but we need the link here as well. Register, login. Okay, now I can switch between. Let's make the text a little bit pretty as well while we're at it. Class name. Let's do some padding in the y-axis. So padding 4. Text center. Class name. Text in the go 700. And when you hover, do underline. Bam. That's nice. And let's do padding top. Let's do 6 instead. There we go. That looks much better. And text. Let's make it a little bit gray. Yeah, that's nice. I'm actually going to copy everything here and just replace this one. And let's see what we're logging. So don't have an account. Register. Login. Register. Okay, I can toggle in between here. So login. Let's see now. I already created an account before. Yeah, I was able to log in. We can actually check the network request here. Login. We're sending a post request to auth login. And we are sending our details, email, password, and we're receiving a JWT token. Everything, this is all taken care of inside the auth object. So we don't need to worry about this at all. Like the auth object fixes everything for us. It will save the JWT token. It will refresh the token once it's about to expire. It will also, because the auth object is also in the Apollo provider here, it will take care of, setting the correct JWT token when we're making the GraphQL requests. And we're going to see that in a little while. So the next thing I want to do is to create 2 styling components that we're going to use across our app. So we're going to create our first components here actually. So components, then we do in components. I think I want to do layout, like a new folder, and call that layout. New file. I want to have layout.jsx. And this one is just going to be like a wrapper component. So let's see. you know what? Let's do like this. Let's move this one here and remove this folder. And React layout. And this one is gonna take up. Let's see here. So yeah, children. So this is just gonna render the children. Let's close a few of these tabs here. Okay, so let's just see that this works by saying layout and then render the children. So in login, I'm going to import this one here. Components, layout. And instead of this container mx auto, I'm going to do layout layout in the bottom here. And let's just see what happens with the login here. Login. Okay, so everything is wrapped here now. That's nice. And just for consistency, I'm gonna do container mx auto, and we don't need to do this. Okay, and I'm gonna create a new component here called header. Ooh, and actually, we're gonna do a few things here. Actually, we're gonna do another one. Export function. Okay, let's finish this one off. Header. Return. Can you, okay, this one. And let's do main. Main is gonna do container mx auto. And this one is not gonna do that. Instead, are we making this hard for ourselves right now? Maybe. No, actually not. Let's do header like so. Main. Yeah, let's keep it. Let's do px4 shield. Okay, and header is gonna be our top header. So inside here we're gonna have like a logo, and we're gonna have create post, user logout, right? Let's see, main looks good, children looks good. Okay, what happened here? Yeah, so logo created. So let's make this a little bit prettier. And maybe we're gonna continue using this text white py4, and it's gonna be a flex box, item center, and justify between. So we push. Whoops, what happened? So we push everything to the right here. Perfect. And we probably want padding on both axes here. Yep. And same thing here. Flex. Okay. Item center. And class name. This is gonna be px4, and this, oh, maybe that's enough actually. Yeah, that's enough. We want this as a button, or this is going to be like a link to the create post, but we don't want to show this if we're not logged in, so let's handle that. And everything related to login and stuff, we use auth, is authenticated. If we're authenticated, we can show this one, otherwise we don't show it. So actually now we are logged in, so we can still see this. Okay, we were not logged in. Let's see. Login failed. Register. What? Okay. Now there's something. Login should say login. Register should say register. We can have the actual explanation mark here. Alright, so let's see if we go to login. Yeah, this is fine. We are actually logged in, but this what do you say, gets resolved after we or before we are actually logged in if we do a reload. So the refresh here comes through and we are actually logged in, but that's fine. Let's do the logout here as well. I'll click auth log out. And we also, after we logged out, let's actually redirect the user to the login. So we're going to use the router again. Now I'm just copying code from login component here. I think this is going to work, yeah. So now if we're, okay. Yeah, it doesn't happen too much, but that's fine. Let's wrap our register component as well. Layout is not defined. Now it is defined. Now I can log out. I'm being sent to login. That's nice. Okay. And yeah, so our login works. That's nice. Layout. So I'm at home now. Okay, let's think what we want to do next here. So let's just try logout. So I'm logging in. I'm being redirected. I can see the create post, but if I log out, this is actually not re-rendered. I mean, this shouldn't This shouldn't really be present here on login actually. Let's remove it. I think we can remove it altogether. So if you log in here now, let's reload everything. Logging in. Yep, I'm getting logged in. I'm logging out. Yep, register, login. Okay, that's better. Now the question is if we want to do this as a private route. I don't think so. I mean, there's going to be two views here. One as if you're logged in and one as if you're not logged in. I mean, with Reddit you can still browse everything even though you're not logged in. I think we want to do the same thing here. What we're going to do though is we probably need to split. Let's not worry about it too much here. Let's focus on creating a post. Or first of all, show the user information here. Creating a post. Yeah, we can actually, this one we completed. So exactly. Let's focus on creating the post here. Show the user information. Show user information. And then we're gonna list posts and delete posts. So we have a little bit of work ahead of us. Let's focus on create a post. Okay, I actually had another idea here. We shouldn't use this is authenticated here, I think. I think instead what we're gonna use is, let's see, React Nhost. What we want to use is actually something like this. We want to use auth and see if we're signed in or not. And we want to import this one. And so if we are signed in, we want to be able to see the create post. If not, let's not show, no, let's not show it. Same thing here. If we're signed in, we want to show the user and log out. If not, we want to show something else. So we want to show like register or something. So we have two paths here. So if we're signed in, let's show this. And if we're not signed in, let's just do something like register now. Let's see what happens here. Create a post. Okay, log out. I'm logged out. I'm going to the index page again. Yeah, register now. Perfect. So it's not going to be a div. Let's actually do it a link right away so that people can register to our Git or to our Reddit clone. Register, nice. Anything else we want to do here? Probably import link. Register now, yeah. Login, or maybe login. Usually we have both, right? Register, maybe just do login, last name px4, let's see how that looks like. Okay, so we can choose between register or login. If we click register, go to register, login, login. Perfect, Johan. And okay, now we're logged in. We can create the post and we can log out. And the logout class name, we actually do a pointer cursor, so that looks a little bit better. And let's see, yeah. Actually, what I wanted to do here, we're still in the header, so I want to do user header here actually. So we're gonna move all this to a different component because now we know we're logged in. So we're gonna do some querying here. So what did I call it? User header. Apollo query. We're gonna do a query here. Let's see. Let's just get this back to normal here. So what kind of query do we want to do? We want to do const get user data. So now we're doing a GraphQL, our first GraphQL query here. Query, oops. Oh, let's do this. Query user. So we want to get user data. Let's see, user ID is going to be a UUID that we're going to pass into this function. We're going to query users by primary key, where ID is equal to user ID. And maybe you're thinking, well, where do we get this data from, and how do you know we're going to do this exact query? Well, I'm going to show you in a little bit, but basically all this is done for you with Hasura and with Nhost. The GraphQL backend API is ready to use, and we're gonna fix some permissions here as well. But yeah, it's gonna be super simple here. So we're just gonna grab the ID display name for now, and we're gonna do if loading, and we don't have any data because we might have some data in the cache. We're gonna do return loading, and yeah, if we get an error, let's just return div error and console log error or fetching user, and we can log the error as well. So in user header, we know we're logged in because signed in is true. So we're gonna render user header. So what we're gonna grab here is get user data. We're gonna see, is it loading? Do we have any error? If everything is fine, we'll get the data here, and we can actually do user data. And let's do user display name. Let's wrap this one in a div as well. We could do this in a div as well. Use query is not defined. Import use query from Apollo client. Oh, yeah. It's not, and this is a permission problem. So now we're going to go into the Hasura console here. That's, if this is new for you, yeah, please follow along as easy as you can. But with Nhost, we installed something called Hasura. Hasura sits on top of the Postgres database and acts as a middleware and will automatically generate all the GraphQL API for you. So you can see here, this is where we have all our tables right now. We only have a users table. This is where we have our user. This table gets pre-created for you when you create the Nhost project. And you can create any table you want. And the tables you create here is going to be the tables in the Postgres database. So this is like a database manager for your Postgres database. Quick introduction. As you can see here, we already have a couple of GraphQL queries we can do. We did this one, users by primary key. The error we got, you can see no such type exists. That's actually a permissions issue, so we're gonna fix that one. So right now only admin is allowed to query this users table, which means you need the admin secret, which should be a secret. So we're not using that one. Instead, what we're going to do is, if you're the role user, you're allowed to select. Actually, you're going to be allowed to select without any checks, because we want to select other users as well. And we want to be able to select the username, display name, and avatar URL for now. And the user role, every new user that is created have this role. So this is the default role for users. Let's see now if we reload everything. We still got an error. Expected a value. Yeah, okay, we need to send in the value as well, yeah. Let's do that by sending in the variables. User ID. And user ID here is going to be our user ID of the user that is logged in. So we're going to get that by let's see, get JWT claim x Hasura user ID. Let's see. Let's reload. We still have an error. Seems like that's not the user ID. Get claim. All right, here we go. Now we have the user. Awesome. But it doesn't look so good. Class name, flex items center. That's better. That's much better. So yeah, we can log out. We cannot log out. We cannot log out because this one should be here. Okay, log in. We're logged in. We can log out. Perfect. If we log, or if we go back here, we're logged out. Okay. Okay, still create post. We need to create a post. Where do we have this one? We have it here. Link. Let's just call this new. It's going to be a new post. Create post. New. Yep. That's nice. And let's duplicate this one, call it new. This is going to be create new post. This should change. Cool. And you should only be allowed to create a new post if you're logged in. So we but we're gonna just make sure that the user can create a post first here. So let's see, div, I like to type up everything here first. Type text, placeholder, title. What do we have here? Value, title, on, change. Set title. Oh, well, let's initiate these variables first. Title, description, set title, target value, nice, class name, py2 to get some padding here. And the description, text area, set description. Use date is not imported. Okay, looks all right, I guess. Layout. Yeah. Here we want to actually use main because we want to center everything here. So we can use main to center everything, and we need to import main as well. Cool. So everything is a little bit centered here. Oh, actually we want to center everything here as well. Let's keep it like this for now. But we need some styling. Let's keep the same styling as that's fine. All right, title with full maybe. Yep. Perfect. What styling did we use here? Oh, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. And now let's handle this form. So unsubmit, handle submit. And here, of course, we want to create the post. Prevent. Let's just see here, create post. Yep. And Apollo mutation, create post. We can do insert post. And yeah, now we need something in the database where we insert this to. So we need to actually create this table here. So I'm gonna add create table posts, and I'm gonna use some frequently used columns here. So ID, created at, updated at. These are all gonna be auto-generated for me every time either something new is inserted or something is updated. Next thing, we wanna have a title, right? So that's gonna be a type text. We want to have a description also of type text, and we're going to have a user ID that is a user creating the post. Anything else we want here right now? I don't think so. That's fine. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to say that, okay, this user ID of this column is actually the same user ID as this table here in the users table. So we're going to add a foreign key to this users table, and we're going to do from user ID to ID of the users table, and we're going to cascade everything if we want to delete anything. Any unique keys? No. Any constraint? No. Add table. Perfect. And now we want to have some insert permission for the user role. So every user that insert something here, they can do so without any checks, and they are allowed to insert title and description. And we're going to automatically set the user ID to the session variable of user ID. So that way the users are not responsible for setting their own user ID, but rather the token, the authentication token, the JWT token, and Hasura will set the user ID automatically. So we can be 100% sure that the user ID is the user ID of the user who's actually inserting the post. So I'm going to save that permission. And yeah, we want to allow to select posts as well, but I'm going to wait with that for a little bit. So let's so now when we're allowed to insert posts, let's do that. And inserting a post is a mutation. And let's call it post like this. And I don't remember these names. So usually what I do, let's make this a little bit big for you. Usually what I do is I do mutation, insert post. We can do insert post, posts, objects. Let's see. Insert post insert input type, post insert input. So inside object we need a object of type posts insert input, posts insert input. Okay, we're going to insert posts objects. We're just going to do one post here. Rows, and we're going to return how many rows we affected. So that's going to be 1, hopefully, or it's going to be 1, or it's going to fail, but it's not going to fail. Let's see, create post. Okay, so now we can do try catch console log. So if something errors, we can say insert post failed, and we can do console error. And what we want to do is we want to do await create post, and here I think we gonna variables post title description. Let's see if this works. So we're creating the post. Yeah, that looks good. Create yeah, post created, and maybe we want to redirect to either the post or to redirect to the post. Then we need to grab the ID as well if we want to do that. All right, but let's for now let's just do like this. Let's see now, where are we? User mutation is not defined. So we're going to do A, B. Post created. Let's see now. So here's our post. So you can see we only sent title and description. We sent title and description, but all the other fields got automatically inserted. So ID was automatically generated, created that, updated that, also set automatically. And this is our user ID of the user who we are and who created the post. So F5E, let's just make sure it's going to be F5E. Yeah, perfect. And what we want to do here is we're going to, since there's a relationship here between users and posts, we can track these relationships. That's going to allow Hasura to track these relationships in the GraphQL query, GraphQL API. So now I'm just, here I'm logged in as admin, so I can do anything. So let's just do, for example, posts, ID, type, title, description. So you can see this is our post that we just created. Now I can, like the fun thing is I can do user So now I'm in the users table. So now I have direct access to the user object here. So I'm at the post table. I can jump to the user who this post relates to and start grabbing data from that table as well. And we're gonna, of course, use this really soon here. But the post is created. That's awesome. Let's see. Show user information. Create post is done. Show user information. We already did that. List posts. List posts. Yeah. So we have one post now. Oh, it would be nice to be able to click here and go to the start page. Nice. Okay. So right now we're not listing any posts. We can create posts, but there's no posts listed here. I mean, we know there's posts, but we're not listing them yet. So let's just do a naive approach here to get some posts shown here. So of course we need to import some stuff here and then do const get posts. Query get posts posts. Let's just do like this. ID title, whoops, title, description, create that maybe. Yeah, let's start with that actually. Apollo query get posts if loading and no data. We can return div posts loading if error, return, and we want to console error. All right, so if we have some posts here, we can show them. Post. Okay, let's just for now do something like post title. Return maybe. What are you complaining about? All right. Error loading posts. Yeah. Posts not found in type root query. This is a permission issue because we're not allowed to see the posts yet. So we're going to fix that. Posts, permission. We're allowed to insert permission, but we're not allowed to select permissions. Select posts. So let's do that. We're allowed to actually, without any checks, we are allowed to, we're allowed to see everything here, right? Nothing secret about this. Let's reload now. Still getting an error. Posts not found. Am I logged in? Let's double check that. Main is not defined. And if I reload now, I'm going to be actually logged out and logged in again. So, okay, we're going to do a small change here, I think. Let's just try this. I'm going to use some code from signed in. And let's see now. Yeah. We can do list posts. And let's move everything here. What I want to do is like, what I want to do is when we're reloading the page, we're not logged in, but we're gonna be logged in a few seconds, like 1 second later, because the authentication module here will make sure we're logged in. So when we're first logged in, when we're doing this get posts query, we are doing it as a logged out user, so we don't have access to it. But when we're logged in, we're allowed to, you know, request this data. So let's just see here. List posts. Okay. Okay. Now we have error loading the posts, but I think, let's see. I want to do one thing here. Let's reload. Error loading posts. Well, yes, error loading posts. You say signed in, or not signed in, and then we're signed in. But we get error loading posts. And this one won't reload. Okay, so let's do it like this instead. Signed in. If we're signed in, let's list posts. And if we're not signed in, let's also list posts. Okay, I'm just gonna test this one. List post 2. Signed in. Okay, so apparently I'm not, like, even if that's strange. Apollo is caching this somehow. Okay, so let's do list post 2. Now maybe it makes sense. Signed in. Yeah. So first it errors out. Then we're signed in, so we're switching from list post 2 to list post. This is not ideal, but you can imagine list posts signed in, signed out. So in a way it makes sense. So let's keep it somewhat like this. We're gonna move this to the components folder. Yeah, let's do it. New file, list posts signed in. Wait, list signed in JSX. Okay, so if you're signed in, you're gonna use this one. Oh, we're gonna use a lot of stuff here as well. Not this one, I think. If you're signed in, list get posts signed in. This is actually good. List posts. Export function, list post signed in. Right, so we can remove this one now. And I'm just going to duplicate it. This was signed out. I'm just going to duplicate it. Signed out. I think this is the important part where we change the query name for Apollo. Get post. For now, they're going to be very similar, but soon, I mean, if you're signed in, maybe you want to see which post that you've been upvoted and some of these stuffs. Okay. Layout and main, right? Okay, let's see what happens. This post, yeah, we need to import, of course. Layout is not defined. Yeah. We're not going to use layout inside here. Use a div instead. So we, yeah, same thing here. Okay. Logging out, that's fine. Logging in, nice. All right. The posts, we don't have much to the post right now. We just have the title. Let's see how we want to have them look. Something like this. Upvote, the votes, downvote, title, who made the post, and description. If you, if we, or if the user is the one created the post, we want to be able to delete and edit the post. So let's create the markup for this and take it from there. All right, so for the posts, let's first mark everything up in HTML and then worry about the logic after that. So we need like a column here, like a column here, upvote, number of votes, downvote, title, who the post was made by, description. And I think we're gonna move these to edit and delete buttons just to be underneath here for simplicity. So yeah, let's jump into it. So we're listing post as we're signed in, and let's see, so between signed in and signed out, there's a few different, maybe we, so we're gonna do something like post listed JSX, with new file, post listed, and oops, where did it go? Here, React component, post listed. So this is going to be the whole container here. So we're going to do class name, shadow, probably medium, and padding 6 or so. And let's use this now in here. Post listed. Post listed. So we're going to return post listed. We can say, we can pass, yeah, of course we're going to pass in the post. We're going to set a key. Post. It's not going to work. Post, and let's do signed in true. We might use that in the future here. Okay. And so now let's just see that we got all the information here. So we had post signed in, right? So we do post title. Yep. Let's do here just last name py or margin y 8. So this is our post. Seems to be working quite good. So now we're going to split this into 2 divs. Here's going to be the title and description. Title, wait, div. There's going to be the description. And inside here we're going to have upvote. I'm just going to put upvote votes, number of votes, and then downvote, right? We need flex. Yep. Let's give this one some space to the left. Padding left 6. Now let's do a nice upvote button here, and I think we're going to use some hero icons here. Up. Let's take something nice, maybe this one. Let's place it actually in a new folder. We're calling SVG. New file. Arrow up. React com SVG arrow up, right? And let's return this one here. And we'll use class name here. And also to make it easier to import SVGs, let's create a new file here, index.jsx, where we're importing all the SVGs. SVG arrow up from and exporting. So now we can import the SVG here, import SVG arrow up from, and we just need to do components SVG. Sorry, not components, SVG. That's it. Or is it a component? It's a component. Oh, nice. So now do SVG arrow up, class name. I think class name width. I don't know what's a good width, height. Let's see if that works. Ooh, it's a big one, but maybe make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. Actually, let's keep it quite big. Do class name here. Flex. Call item center. And let's see. Oops. What's going on? Class. So now it's, yeah, cool. Hover. Let's hover it with some kind of background. Yeah, round. Let's see here. Round. Can I do rounded full? Text white. Okay. It looks quite good. I mean, don't take any UI advice from me, but transition all, easy in, easy. Duration, 150 milliseconds. Yeah, so you can upload. Maybe we want to have like a green here. Okay, let's do the same thing for the downvotes. Red. Whoop, whoop. But let's do arrow down. And duplicate this one, down, and import, find the arrow down. It's not defined, we need to add this one here as well. It's not exported. Now we need to import it here. All right. It looks quite okay. So number of votes. We don't have the numbers here yet. So let's just leave it as it is for now. But let's make some room here for it. And I'm thinking if we upvoted this one, it should stay green. And if we are downvoted, it should stay red. But we're going to fix that later. We're going to move over to title, description, and the edit and delete buttons here. Why is there a space here? Title, description, maybe we want to, let's modify, not modify, let's edit this title a little bit. Example title, some longer description. Let's see, easier to test with. Reload. I mean, it's not bad. I think it will look good here in a second when we have, like it says, number of votes, for example. Maybe, no, I like it. I like this. This is fine. And at last, let's do, so this is only going to be visible if we're signed in. and post user ID equals auth get claim x Hasura user ID. That's our ID. Post. Are we query? Do we get the user ID here? We are not, but now we are. So if we're signed in and the posts, and this is our own post, let's show some edit and delete buttons. Yeah, and I'm actually logged in here. Oh yeah, I'm logged in and this is my post. So that's fine. Let's just see what happens now. If we're logged out. Yeah, error load, but we're gonna fix that in a second. It's also a permission issue. Let's just finish this off. Flex items center. And px4. Dun dun. Do we want to have some nice buttons here? Edit. This one looks nice. Duplicate this one. Edit. SVG edit. And copy this one again. Class name. All right, and delete maybe. Duplicate. Maybe this one. And now, oops. Import SVG edit from edit. Import SVG delete from delete. Cool. Let's remove a bunch of files that we have opened here. And import SVG edit, SVG delete. Now we want to use this one here instead. Oops. Maybe something like this. It's very big, but I think it's gonna look good. This is fine. Edit, delete. We can create the links here as well. Link. Where do we want to go? Edit. Maybe post. Post. Post ID. What's going on here? Edit. And for this, we actually just need to delete it right away. Not class name. On click. Delete post. Delete post. Redirect you. Maybe we don't need to redirect the user, or we just need to reload query. Maybe Hasura. Maybe Apollo takes care of that. Cursor pointer. Okay, we need. Where do we have login link? Delete post. Well, it's not being deleted. but the markup is there. That's fine. That's good. And what do we have here? So it looks even better. Here, let's see. Yeah, what's the next thing we want to do? List posts. All right, delete posts. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that right away, actually. So const delete post. Mutation delete post ID. Let's see the syntax of this query. Mutation delete post. Oh, we can do delete post. Primary key. Let's see, what does it return? Okay, and maybe just ID. Let's do this one. Okay. Import. GraphQL tag. We also want to import use mutation from Apollo client. Now we have everything we need here to actually delete the post. Delete post. Wait, I need to set up. Delete post. Post ID is post ID. And if we fail, console error, return failed to delete post. Cool. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Delete post. Yep. Fail to delete post. Yeah, we don't have permission to do that. So let's fix it. Delete. Now we want to be careful because we only want users to delete their own post. So user ID on the post needs to be equal to Hasura user ID. So that way we can make sure that users are only allowed to delete their own posts. Let's try again. Yeah, I think that. So if I reload everything here, yeah, there's no posts. So let's do one thing here. No, that's fine. That's fine. Either we request. Let's see, but we don't know. Let's do this as a subscription instead. I used to do S like this. So that way, when we delete something, it will automatically fetch the posts that are not deleted. I think that's it basically. Can I create the post? Create post. Hey, deleting it. Oh, it's moved. Okay, perfect. Hello world. When we click here, I want to be redirected to the starting page. So let's do that as well. Login, I think, have the use router. Maybe we can call this something else. New. Doesn't matter, but router push. Okay, let's try now. Perfect. I can see the post. I can delete it. We can even do. Just want to show you. So to the right here, we don't have any posts, right? But I'm gonna create one. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. So you can see it all gets updated everywhere. Subscriptions are cool. And if I delete something, bam. Let's try to log out and create a new account. You. Successful, okay. Post loading. Okay. So we have an issue here. Shouldn't be allowed to see this one as this user. Let's fix that one right away. Post listed. If post user ID. So let's see what these variables are. Console log signed in. Post user ID. Get claim. Let's focus on this one here now. Signed in true. Wait, I'm not okay. I'm not check if this and this, and I think I should do like this, right? And everything needs to wait. It should be fine. Okay. All right, now it's good. So if you're the same user, you can see it, but if you're not, you can't see it. So I can delete this one, and it gets deleted for everyone. Okay, that's good. Delete posts, working, edit posts, next. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Edit. Post something, edit. Now we need to do some NextJS stuff, I think. Pages. We need to do posts. In post, we need to do slug. And in this one, we need to do edit, I think. Edit. Do I need to? Page could not be found. So we have post. Rename. Oh, yeah. Okay, how do we get the slug here? NextJS, get slug, dynamic routing. Okay, seems pretty straightforward. And we need a slug. So let's see. It's not slug actually, it's ID. But let's call it slug for now. Yeah, getting it here. Let's think now. Apollo query get post post ID. Gonna be slug. We want to get the post, so const get post query get post ID. It's gonna be a UUID. It's gonna be required. Posts by primary key. For now, we just need a title description. Let's see, we're gonna import some stuff. We're gonna import use query and use mutation. Let's see now. Let's see now. So once the data is fetched, I want to send it to another component. So we're going to do if loading return div loading. Same with error. Once we have the post, we can send it to edit post, and I'm actually gonna create that one here. Function return it's gonna be very similar to this one. So I think I'm just gonna copy everything. The only difference here is gonna be that we fill in the title and description here. And we're gonna have a Apollo mutation. So that's gonna be update post. Mutation, update post ID. And post, we're gonna look at the type up. Okay, I'm doing a lot of things here and simultaneously, but async function handle submit. Try catch. This is going to be the same post ID, and the post is going to be title and description. And let's see now. If it fails, we're going to return alert failed to update post. Console error. And if it succeeds, let's just use the router again and push to the starting page. Okay, let's see, let's take it carefully now. We need to fix the update post mutation here. Other than that, I think edit post. Yes. All right. We just need to fix this one. Mutation. Update post by primary key. Post set input. Posts set input. Yes, perfect. Update post. Wait, what's going on? Primary columns. Ah, okay. How does this work? Update post primary key. Primary columns. Do I do this? No. Do I do this? Yes. Okay. I think this is good enough. Okay. Update post, mutation, update post. We're sending in post ID and post. That's going to be the new post. Updating posts by primary key, and primary columns is going to be ID, post ID, and we're going to set post. And of course, post ID is going to be post ID, and the post here, the new post we're setting, is going to be title and description. It's going to be the new title and the new description we're taking out of this form. Let's see if it works. Close, but no cigar. Data, get post. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, error. Of course, it's only error I didn't fix. No such type exists in the schema UUID. What? Get post ID is a slug. Well, it's the ID, but we call it a slug. UUID I don't know why it's complaining. No such type exists in the schema UUID. I'm pretty sure it exists, but if you say so, let's try it here. Okay, the autocomplete doesn't complain, so we're sending in this, and I'm able to get it, and it shouldn't be a permissions problem. So what can it be? What can it be? Am I not logged in? Maybe. Maybe that's the issue. Oh, I'm trying to edit. What? Nope, same issue. Expect value non-variable. This is a little bit better. Yeah. wrap it inside variables. Okay, that's better. Layout. Okay, edit post. So we're gonna do 3 to 1 or hello. Fail to update post. Post set input network in the schema. Maybe it's a permissions problem because we're not allowed. We're not allowed to update anything here. So let's do that. So we need. We're only allowed to update our own posts. We don't need to check this because we're only allowed to set title and description. Save. Let's edit again. Primary columns is expected. No such argument. Primary columns. PK columns. Yeah, now it works. Hello, 1, 2, 3. So a new updated title. Okay. Yep. All right, we can update the post. That's amazing. Edit post. Upvote, downvote. Is that going to be our last thing? Yeah. Okay. So let's deal with the upvote and downvote in a second. Okay, so as you might have noticed, I haven't prepared much for this video. I'm just going along, and so you've been seeing all my mistakes and how I fixed them. And I think now it's going to be one of these sessions as well. We're going to implement how to upvote and downvote a post, and make sure that the upvote and downvote numbers are correct. And I have like a vague idea of how to do this, so let's try it out. So let's start by creating a table. Post upvotes. So here we're gonna have ID when it was created. Yeah, we can have updated as well. What post is either being upvoted or downvoted? So we have UUID here. What user is doing the upvote or downvote? And also if it's an upvote or downvote, so vote type maybe. We can just put it as text for now. Wait a second. Maybe we want to have vote type as an integer and do +1 and -1. That way we can just sum all the... yeah, let's do that. So vote type can be +, we can probably make a check constraint, and then we can just summarize vote type for a post ID. Yeah, I like this approach. Okay, so let's add the 2 foreign keys, one to post ID, and if the post gets deleted, all upvote and downvotes gets deleted. Same for users. User ID equals user ID. Nice. And we only allowed users to upvote and downvote once per post. So the combination of post ID and user ID is going to be unique. And then maybe let's add the table here and do the check constraint afterwards here. No more. How do I do? Okay, I can just do something like this. Check on name. Vote type check. So vote type equals one, or vote type equals -1. Okay, seems to be working. Okay, let's set some permissions here right away. So update permissions. Anyone can update. Insert, and they are allowed to insert vote type and post ID. And we're gonna set the user ID automatically. Yep. Select without any checks. And let's see, we can allow everything and also aggregate queries, which is important. Limit number of queries, we don't, maybe, yeah, that's fine for now. We can go back to that if it's gonna be a problem. Also, we're gonna allow people to update, of course, if you upload something and then you realize, no, I want to download it, or vice versa. So if user ID is equals to user ID, you're allowed to change your vote type. So you can go from +1 to -1. All right, and delete. How do you delete? So upvote and then upvote again, that will delete it. In that case, you're only allowed to delete your own stuff. Cool. We have everything in place. Now let's track these relationships between between post upvotes and users and posts. So track all. Cool. So what I'm thinking now is we're gonna do upsert Hasura. So basically we want to insert the upvote or downvote, but if there is already an upvote and downvote, we want to upsert that row to change the upvote to a downvote or vice versa. So let's see here. Insert update selected columns on, yeah, exactly. So insert upsert, yeah, in with what? They're doing insert. Let's see. Mutation. Oops. Mutation. Insert post upvotes. And let's see the documentation for this one. Yeah, there's actually on conflict. Cool. So on conflict, the constraint we're getting and what columns we want to update. Yep, perfect. All right. So let's actually upvote something, and let's actually get the correct numbers here. Let's start by getting the correct numbers. So signed in, posts. Oh, we're actually missing something. We're missing who's made the post. Let's do that as well. So let's do that first. User ID, display name. Posts loading. And in post listed under the title. Let's do a small one here. py2 maybe, created by post user display name. Yeah. That was quick and easy. Now I want to grab some more data, and I'm actually gonna move this whole query over to the GraphQL here to test it out, and just a query here instead. Okay, we're not using any query variables, no. So what I want to do for this post, I want to post upvote aggregate. Aggregate. I want to summarize vote type. Yeah, that's exactly it. Null. Probably because we don't have any upvote or downvotes. But that's fine. We can work with null values. Let's just, I'm curious to see what else we can do. We can summarize, we can count. So that's the amount of votes. So a post could be at some 0 with a lot of counts. That might be interesting to see. Like if 50 votes downvoted the post and 50 upvoted the post, the sum will be 0, but the count will be 100. Some variance, average, yeah. Well, let's go with this for now. I'm just gonna put it here for now. So we have the data. Let's just see if we can load this data still. We can, good. And yeah, let's use this one now here instead. So it's post aggregate sum of type votes. Was that correct? Aggregate sum vote type. Vote type. And if this one, yeah, it's gonna be a long one here, but if it's not set, or if it's set, we're gonna use it. If it's not set, we're gonna default to 0. Right, so otherwise it's gonna be 0. All right. Now let's actually try to upvote this. On click. Let's just do vote, post vote 1, and use Apollo mutation post vote. Let's see here. Insert post vote. Const insert post vote. So this is where we're doing our vote. It's going to be a mutation. Insert post vote. It's actually going to be an upsert. Yeah, so let's call it upsert post vote. And we want to, let's see here, we want to have the post ID. It's going to be UID. And we want to have the vote type, vote type. It's going to be an integer. So let's see here. What did we have here before? Maybe we can find it in history. Mutation, insert, post, upvotes. Did I call it upvotes? I should call it votes. Post votes. Yeah, that's better. Insert post votes 1. Can I do on conflict on this one though? I can. Cool. So object is going to be post vote on conflict constraint this one. So if I get a constraint, if the post ID user ID key, this is I think this is a unique key that we set just recently. Yeah, unique or primary key constraint. So if we get this, let's see here. Let's just finish off this one. So ID. On conflict constraint, update columns. Update columns. How do I do this one? Yeah, I want to update vote type, right? Vote columns. Vote. This is a bit of a complicated mutation. But what it does is I'm trying to insert a vote, either an upvote or a downvote. And if I get a conflict that I already inserted a vote for this post with this user, I will get a constraint error, or what do you call it? Conflict. Yeah, I'll get a conflict on the constraint. So instead of inserting, I will only update the column, and I will use a vote. I will only upvote vote type, the vote type column. So maybe I have, based on this information here that I'm inserting. Let's see if it works. Okay. Prettify. Post vote. It's gonna be another one. That's better. Post vote. Cool. Insert upsert. Let's call it upsert. Upsert post vote. Upsert post vote. And let's actually try to do it now. Try catch. Fail to upvote. Upsert. Now we're doing the vote here. Variables. And this is gonna be, let's see now. Post vote. Post vote. And here we're gonna have post ID. We let's see here. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Error loading posts. I'm signed out. We haven't fixed this one yet. All right, let's clear this console. I have a feeling we might see something useful here. What? It worked. What? Amazing. Okay, so let's see if I can downvote the post. Oops. So instead of vote type 1, we're doing -1. Yeah. There we have it. I can upvote, I can downvote. And if I haven't upvoted or downvoted, it will insert. And if I have already upvoted, if I do a downvote, it will replace the upvote with a downvote. So you can see I'm going from -1 to 1. So there's always going to be, like right now, there's only going to be one entry here. So this is me on this post and I'm upvoting, but maybe I changed my mind and I downvoted this post instead. So if I rerun the query here, you can see I changed it to a -1. Just to recap really quick, upstarting the post. So I'm trying to insert, if I got a conflict, if I already inserted something here, I will only update the column's vote type, which means I will only update this field here with whatever I send in. So that's going to be +1, -1. And I'm not allowed to do anything than +1 to -1. So I can't, send in 2, hopefully. Fail to upvote. Yeah, you see check constraint violation, new row for relation post votes violates check constraint vote type check. So it's only I'm only allowed to send in 1 or -1. Okay, so is there an easy way now to mark this as green or red background? For that we need to select. We can actually do post up. Wait. So if let's just make sure that the names are correct here. So modify. Title. What I'm worried about is it still says post upvotes here, and we changed that to votes only. So post, yeah, you can see post upvotes aggregate. So even if I change the column name, it didn't change the names of the GraphQL thing here. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I think I can change them here. Yeah, actually this is wrong. Post votes aggregate function. Post votes. Now let's see. Maybe I'm on the wrong. I shouldn't change this one. I shouldn't. What? Would be nice to reset the default. Probably. Okay. What? I'm not sure what's happening here, but let's just leave it as it is. If it works, it works. What I want to do now is actually query and I want to get post well, yeah, where user ID is equal to the user ID there, and let's get the vote type. I think that's enough. And the user ID is of course going to be the user making this request. And we're getting the user ID from the claim here. Now let's see what we have in a post. So a post will contain, yep, so it will say vote type -1. And this entry right here will only contain one item. So we can actually, well, 1 or 0 items. So let's introduce class names and make sure that the class names are correct. So let's see now. Post upvotes. Length is more than 0, or we can do equals 1. So now we know we have a vote, so we can do const vote equal post upvotes. And now we can do const upvote classes equals class names. Oh, we can actually do, yeah, background green to, let's do 200. If, let's see now, wait. If vote type equals 1. Now I just need to remove everything here, place it here, and let's use this variable here as a class. Upvote classes. Maybe I can do something like this. So vote type. I'm not too sure about this, but so if there's something here, either or else null. Let's see what happens. So let's upvote this. Oh, yeah. Awesome. I like how I get surprised every time something works. Down vote classes. So this is going to be the same thing, but -1. Not the same because we're going to do red. And where do we have this one? Here, down vote classes. Bam. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let's see how it looks from a different perspective, from a different user. So I'm logging out. Let's see if I remember. Yeah. So maybe we're 2 people upvoting, or 1 upvoting, 1 downvoting. 2 people downvoting. I guess this looks all right. I can't edit the post here, but I can edit it. Awesome. Cool. Okay, I think the last thing we want to do is make sure that it looks somewhat okay if we're logged out. Because right now we're not, error loading post, we're not allowed to see anything here. So I'm going to take a quick break and be back. All right, so let's fix the logout part of the page. So if you're logged out, you still want to browse this Reddit clone. You're not able to right now, so we're going to fix that. So if you're logged out, you should still be able to see everything, and you should be able to see how many upvotes, downvotes, the title, description, who made the post. So let's see if we can manage that. So we have our, let's remove this, signed list post assigned in. And our request assigned out is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be pretty much, yep, we're going to just remove this one. So let's see, sign out right now. We have this one. So let's just copy everything here. Remove this one, we don't need that one anymore. And we're not going to use that one. It's going to be signed out. And we're not going to send any variables here. We're going to use a subscription instead of a query. Loading, error loading post. Yep. And then we want to do something similar to this, right? We want to use our post listed component with signed in false. All right, let's just see how it looks. Doesn't look too good. Error loading post. And the reason for that is if you're not signed in, you're not allowed to see anything. So we're going to fix that. So there's a special role, public, called public. So if you're not logged in and you're making a request to the GraphQL endpoint, you will be regarded as the public role. So we can use this public role to set permissions for logged out users. So, okay, let's make this a little bit bigger here, okay? So for post, the public role is allowed to see everything. And the public role is also allowed to select without any checks. Display name. Yeah, okay, ID maybe as well, because we're fetching that. Avatar URL, we're not using this in this project, but we're gonna, yeah, maybe we want to use it in the future. Post upvotes, select without any checks. Allowed to make aggregation queries. And I think we will allow to select everything here. Now let's see what happens if we reload. We didn't get the same error as previously, but instead we're missing this component. Are we missing? No, we're not using auth. That's right. Error, what? Yeah, this is probably because we're not logged in and we're doing some, exactly. So I'm gonna let's do like this. We're going to do something like votes here instead, and then we're going to do this logic here. So let's say if post upvotes agree in post, we can do this thing here. So votes, let's see, yep, looks good. Else, wait, what am I doing? That's not the issue we're having. The issue we're having is actually, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so maybe just that will solve it. Aha, something like that. Can I do that? Null. Unexpected token. Let's do like this. So if this one exists, we are probably sure that one exists. Otherwise, let's do null. That's probably going to solve our problem. Yep. So exactly. Fail to upvote. That is because we're not logged in. So we're not actually allowed to upvote and downvote. So instead, maybe what we want to say is something like login to upvote. But at least now we can see the posts. And I think we had some, like a little bit of margin here, right? Yep. Okay. Let's fix that last thing where if we fail to upvote. Yeah. Must log in to upvote. And for downvotes, you must log into downvote. I think that's it. So we can register, we can log in. We can see what post we've upvoted. We can change our vote. We can create new posts. We can edit this one. We can remove, I don't want to remove this now. I can log out. Yep, I think we're done. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I'll try to answer, or I will not try to answer. I will answer all comments if you comment on this video. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know. So maybe I'll make more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much. Bye bye.